Well, hello guys, and in the last video about the head unit I did an install and we showed you how to do the startup logo. Well, in this video we got a few little problems and we're going to have a revisit to the cabling.
We're Mark and V, and this is our adventures.
We found that the radio squeaks when we're going along, so it's like it's got no signal, then it's got signal, then it's got no signal. Now we don't know if it's an issue with the car, however the previous head unit was good, or is it a problem with the head unit not getting a strong enough signal. So that's the first thing we're going to look at. So the first thing I'm going to do is whip out the head unit. Right, since I last did the video I bought a little tool just to go in and remove the dash, because I figured we're going to be removing the dash a couple of times here, so with a dash trim I should say, so we didn't want to start damaging it. And you might even have one of these if you've ever pulled a phone apart or something. You would have got a little plastic tool. It's very simple, very simple. Now I'm just going to turn the ignition off a minute. That's better. So this stereo's off for the moment. Literally just run this one around, and there he is. So as we said before, it's 4 torque screws, T25. Hopefully you can see that. I'm just going to hold it away from the camera a bit. You can just tilt it so you can see that. 4 screws. And be careful you don't scratch your head unit when you do it, like I nearly did. Now another thing I've had an issue with this head unit, and it's not negative, it's just observations really, is when you're trying to type in on the keyboard on the head unit, you keep on touching these controls here. The space bar seems to sit just too low. Now I don't know if it's something wrong with my setup, I'm not really sure, but it is annoying. So that's one thing. Second thing is the screen is very glary. Now I haven't taken the cover off yet because I intend to get a anti-glare screen similar to what you'd use on an iPad, and trim it back. And I've also read that, I've seen another video where these controls are really bright at night, and I saw someone else put a little bit of tape in behind just to dim them down, and I think I'll be doing the same. So we'll show you that. That won't be this video, or it might be this video, I don't know, see how much time we got. But I'm more interested in trying to find out why we got such poor sound quality at the moment. I've taken it apart and I've messed around with quite a lot of various different ideas. I changed the USB port, so I went into a different USB port. That didn't make any difference at all. But something that did make a difference, now when I disconnected the original head unit, I'm absolutely positive that cable there was coming from the GPS, and one of these cables was actually the DAB radio. So I had that one plugged into here, and this cable with this cable here just hanging loose. I think that's a mistake. I've just swapped them round, so you can see now this one is, I'll just try not to get cables too tangled at all. There's my DAB receiver. Okay, there's a DAB receiver, and that's going into that single cable now. which I was convinced was the GPS aerial. Now the GPS with this stereo, you get a separate one. So we've used that anyway, we've used a separate one. Now if I hold up, I'm obviously not going to play sound, but we were getting signal the other way, but not very good. You look at the strength of the signal now. I'm just going to go through a few different channels. So maybe that is what was wrong there. So I'm quite pleased. Well, I decided while I was in this situation that I would try and feed a cable through from this area here where the head unit goes down to here. And it's very difficult on me. I couldn't get my arm down there. And luckily I've got this tool that I use quite often. It's a cable puller. I've used it in my professional role in IT, and I've used it in more van conversions than I can think of, trying to feed a cable through somewhere. And again, it's come up trumps. So there is a way of doing it without pulling everything out. Got to be a bit patient. Now what I'll do now is I will attach a USB cable. I've got a USB cable extender. So I will attach that end and gently pull that back through. Normally what we do, I'll show you in a minute, I'll tape it and we'll tape over that edge there just so it doesn't snag on anything too much. So I'm just going to get some tape and then we'll attempt to do that. There's cables everywhere at the moment. It's cable hell. Let's just get this camera. It's so difficult as well to try and have a camera in amongst everything else. But then again, if I don't, you won't see what I'm doing. So we've got some electrical tape. Just tape him there, and I'm just going to tape him back here as well. I don't want to lose him. The trick really is to be gentle when you're pulling it back through. So there's our cable, and you'll see him slowly disappear. We might have to wiggle him a few times, maybe a few more times, because that's caught on something already. On this end, what's he caught on? Yeah. There's error number one. I've set the wrong cable down. The cable that's attached to the actual unit is just not long enough, really. Which is annoying, but you can get USB cable extension cables now quite cheap. So that's the one attached to the actual car, and there we are. There's a USB cable extender, and this is the end, the female end. We want to appear at the other end. Now the biggest issue is we have that on it. And that is gonna probably be our nemesis. But let's see how we get on. As I said, the trick is to just be gentle as you're pulling it through, wiggling it along. I think the worst thing when you're in a nest like this is you put something down and it just disappears. I've just dropped the tape. As soon as I turned the camera off, we found the tape, which decided to sit underneath the head unit, which is on the seat beside me. Okay, so we have to remember that this is going to be quite a tight fit. And you saw how easy it went the first time, the second time that it's caught on something. So don't be disheartened if you're struggling. I struggle loads at times. And there we are. Right, I think we'll have to be satisfied with him coming through that far. And we're going to leave him attached while we're putting everything else back in. Now, I want to tidy up the cabling a bit as well. We talked about the cabling previously, and we have oodles and oodles of cable going to various different things. So I am going to go and get myself a few tie wraps just to loosely manage this cabling a bit. Something else I do when I'm putting things in, for instance, into a USB, is I like to just put a bit of tape around them. Don't know, and I'm probably being overcautious, but by doing that, you know it's not going to rattle out. I've always done it. It's not a permanent fix or anything like that, so it can be removed, but in my view that just saves anything rattling loose. At a later stage we are going to put proper switches in down there in front of the gear stick, and we're also going to put a little USB hub on the other USB input in case we want to add anything else, because I know this stereo will take a camera that mounts into the grill, and it might be something we do at a later stage. Not sure yet, but it looks quite neat and tidy. We could also run our dash cam directly into the head unit as well, but I think we're going to use a Halo dash cam again, and I think we'll wire it in separately so it takes its own feed. Anyway, that'd be interesting because I'll be able to show you how to put an extra USB port in then, and you can use that on so many different applications. You know, if you need a powered USB in the front of your car. Anyway, so let's get all this back in now, and I'll join you when it's all back in. I think I've decided that this is going to be the end of this particular video. This is going to be about finding the error with the DAB radio, and we're going to end it there because although I can't play any music because of YouTube copyright issues, you can see that on FM I've managed to find all stations now, which we couldn't do before. Oh, I'll do that again, sorry about that. So you can see I found all channels there, and if I go through, get ready to disable, put them on mute again. Actually, in fact, if I put the mute button on, hopefully that will do it. And if we come out of there and we go home and we go into the DAB radio, which I'm going to use DAB Z, so I'm just going to pull across here to DAB Z, and we haven't sorted that out yet. We'll configure it in the next video. So we go into DAB Z, and again I'm going to get ready just to turn it down if we need to. Good, it hasn't. You can see the signal's really strong there now, so it's looking good. Now I think the only thing we need to do is see my wife who's talking to me. There she is. So we're going to end this video now, as I'm sweating terribly at the moment. As you can see, it's really, really hot. So if this has been informative to you and helped you fix your DAB radio, give the video a like. And if you want to see more about the EOS, more about the Crafter, more about everything we're doing, subscribe to the channel, guys. See you soon. Look after yourselves. Bye.